The mark of the beast technology is getting closer than ever. The technology being implanted inside the hand and inside the heads of humans is getting closer. The mark of the beast, I believe, is implantable chips inside the hand or inside the head. At the end, in the tribulation, you will not be able to buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast in the right hand and in the forehead. Now, I have a video I want you to watch, okay, of people being chipped in the hand. And I also have one from an old video I did where they've been paying for things with their head. So they're paying for things with chips in their hands, they're paying for things with chips in their heads. We were told that this would come, and this is fulfillment of the mark of the beast of Revelation chapter 13, 16, 17. Okay? So first I want you to watch this where they're paying for things with their head. And then I have another video for you to see. So when I saw that, it was utterly shocking to me. And this footage, you can't find anywhere now. Good job I store all my footage and save it so it can't be lost. So you all get to see it on my channel. But as you saw, there was a queue going into what looked like a restaurant. And they were beeping their heads off the scanners as they were going through. Each individual person. There was 3 people and they all beeped their way through into the restaurant. Paying with their forehead. Fulfillment of Revelation chapter 13, 16, 17. Now I have another video for you to watch which is 14 minutes long. There's some footage in there you may not have seen. The mark of the beast is closer than ever.
The microchip implant is something we've all been covering for years, but it's becoming more and more normalized, and I need to continue to cover it because there's a lot of things that go into this. We've heard of the microchip being used to open doors. They've told people that they can use it to start their car or open their car door, things like that. But eventually, obviously, the mark that'll be inside of people's body, which I believe will be intertwined into their genetic code, into their DNA, with blockchain, will, of course, enable people to buy or sell, like the Bible tells us in the book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 through 18, and the second beast required all people, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of its name. Here is a call for wisdom. Let the one who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and that number is 666. So now we're seeing, instead of this, the chip being talked about, and people being like, look, I have a chip, I can turn my TV on, is the bank chip. And I'm about to show you the bank chip. And one of the things that scares me the most about this is that social media, again, is going to be used to implement this on the youth. People on TikTok, for example, I'll show you this guy on TikTok who has this bank chip in his hand. He goes to stores, he goes to vending machines, he scans his hand. Of course, you'll notice on his wrist, he has a pentagram. Oh, is it a star? He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. It's a pentagram. So it's no surprise that this guy has it in him. This new company called Walletmore, it's somewhat new. It's been around for about a year or two. Are one of the companies now that are getting pushing this. And in the UK, this person is the first in the UK, apparently, to get this implemented into his body, or excuse me, in Britain. He's the first in the British father is the first in the nation to be implanted with a safety pin size bank chip. I'll show you here the guy, how he does it, or excuse me, how they implement it, how they put it, or implant it, excuse me, into people's bodies. And of course, how they're going to market this stuff with TikTok. And of course, you'll see the sleazy guy who created it, who looks like he loves bagels.
implant at W.H. Smith. Paying with chip implant at vending machine. With chip implant at Home Bargains. Paying for petrol with chip implant.
Oh my God! Oh my!
Doesn't work. Oh, there we go.
How do you do it?
Magic.
Huh?
Magic.
Ah, magic.
Last time you wrote an actual check or bought something with cash. Swiping and tapping our cards and our apps are not just the easiest way to spend money, they're the safest way, unless, of course, we misplace our phones or our wallets, and then it's a nightmare. It is hard to misplace your hands, however. And soon your hand may be all that you need to buy anything that you can afford and many things that you can't. Because a company called Walletmore is developing a very teeny tiny chip. You see it there in the X-ray? That should creep you out. The chip is like the ones that are found in smart credit cards or debit cards, and the chip gets embedded just under your skin and makes your whole hand a credit card. Joining me now is Wojtek Perota. He's the CEO and founder of Walletmore. Okay, Wojtek, this is so futuristic and out there, but walk me through how it actually works.
Hey, so first of all, thanks for having me. Let's look at the chip as a super small part that you can use wherever contactless payments are accepted. So it's exactly the same NFC technology, which stands for near field communication, and therefore it can be used only for the near field communication payments. So therefore you cannot be tracked, you cannot be monitored, you cannot be spied with that implant because it's exactly the same technology as credit card.
So here's my worry, is that you can accidentally buy something by just having your hand too close to a machine, or you could accidentally have your data all stolen by shaking someone's hand, because a lot of times we protect our cards in cases that can't be penetrated. But if it's in your hand, it's really hard to do that.
It's not that simple, to be honest. First of all, you cannot lose money when you are shaking hands with anyone, because the implant is the passive tag and it doesn't have any internal source of energy, and therefore the only option to get the read of that implant is to put it in the near field of terminal. So therefore the other implant, which is inside of the other person's hand, is not capable of processing information. You need to have that source of energy, and only terminals that you can see at the moment are capable of providing that energy. So that's one thing. The other thing is that you definitely cannot lose your money because of the fact that you tap in a random place. Why? Because the implant is so small compared to the credit card. Normally, of course, when you tap the credit card, the terminal, it gets the read instantly. With the implant, it's a little bit different because you need to be super precise. And therefore, if someone is touching your hand, finding this perfect sweet spot, because that's how we need to look at it, you would realize at least 10 times that something is going on with your hand. So that's also...
Do you have it? Wojtek, do you have it in your hand right now?
Yeah, of course. Actually, the X-ray that you saw was from my hand, and that's how it looks. On my hand.
So show me your hand. Is it possible to see it at all? It's just barely standing out, right? Like it looks like maybe a little like a scar.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm popping it a little bit.
Oh man, that's crazy. Did you have a doctor insert it?
Yeah, of course, that's part of the deal, because we are only building the implants, and when it comes to the installations, we want the whole experience to be as safe as possible, and therefore we build a network of partners all across Europe and the US. So therefore, if you are ordering an implant from our side, it's of course shipped to you, but then you need to schedule the appointment with one of the specialists who will just set it up for you. So
do you use it? Like, do you go up to a cashier and say, yeah, I'll just tap my hand? And if that's the case, what's the reaction from the sales clerks?
Yeah, of course. I've been testing it myself since the very beginning. I have been the first person to get it installed. And reactions are pretty wild, to be honest. Sometimes people just don't care, but because when they are stuck in the office for like 10 hours, they just do not care. They just care about having the payment to be processed. But sometimes the reactions are really extreme, because when I tap my hand and there's clearly nothing here inside of the loaf or anything else, anywhere else, they are just asking, how the hell is that possible? You need to have a watch somewhere down here in your shirt. But when I'm just taking it down and seeing and showing that, okay, there's nothing out there, then the conversation begins. But in most cases, it turns out to be like a positive conversation, because as long as I explain how it works and what's actually inside, they're pretty much optimistic about it. So there is an instant...
Well, I'll tell you what, there's still a lot of regulatory. I mean, this is a long way before it's mass market appeal, but it is really interesting to see that you're on the leading edge of this and that you're doing it yourself as your lead guinea pig. Wojciech Paprota, thanks so much for being on. I want to stay with you on this story to see how you do with the business.
So this is something that is a little bit different, because they're talking about it being a bank card. Now, obviously we've seen the stuff with Amazon, right? Where in the Amazon store, you can go into the store, you don't have to do anything. Automatically, as long as you have your phone on you, it automatically, you can just go in, take what you want, and walk out, and it automatically will pay for it. It'll track what you buy, etc. This is a little bit different, because this is linked directly to his bank. This is provided from the bank, pretty much. The bank is connected, at least I should say, with this company. So all of his money is literally in his hand. So he can walk around, if he's got $100 in his bank account, he can go out and he can spend 100. Right? You walk up to anything that has the scanning capabilities, which we've all seen now with the tap and pay, which again, I've talked about over the years, how they went from, just a credit card to the chip, right? Then they started putting propaganda out there about the chip and how the chip was falling out of credit cards, to the tap and pay, where you just tap your credit card on the actual credit card machine, and eventually, instead of tapping, this is going to be the next thing. And this is going to be pushed onto the youth. They know that older people are not going to do this. They know that people unless they're the complete libtard losers, they know that they're not, but they know they can influence children. That's why this New World Order to them is so important, to brainwash the youth out there with this crap. Because they know that they can say, let's put it on TikTok. Let's make it look really cool. Let's make it look really easy. Let's make it look really fun. Right? So people almost want to get it and go to the store and just run around and pay for things with their hand or their wrist. So that's what's frightening about this. And this guy, the British father, who was the first in the nation to be implanted with a safety pin-sized bank chip, goes by the name of Arnie Soos. He paid €350, which is $394, to have the new technology inserted into his hand in Germany. And is this the future of the people, or for the people who don't want to carry a wallet or purse? And again, that's another way they market it, as if carrying a purse or carrying a wallet is so difficult. Just like the stuff with the Alexa, turning off your light switch is, it's so difficult. Putting on a CD or putting on an iPod, I should say, and playing your music instead of just telling Alexa, it's so difficult. This is what they're doing to people. They're getting them so dependent on technology to make things easier, but what it's really doing is enslaving them. So it's been reported that in Sweden, 4,000 people have body chips linked to their bank accounts, according to the Daily Mail. And over the years I've covered Sweden, they were probably the first hotspot where a lot of idiots really were just taking this taking this chip and walking around and using it. But now it's spreading. Now it's spreading to different countries. It's going to spread to America. It's going to spread all over. And again, the bank part of it is something that's very key, because they're not going to be able to buy or sell eventually without it being inside of your body. But I believe that the chip itself is, again, another way to prepare people to have it injected, for the most part, into their bodies, because it'll be a part of their bodies. When you have a chip in you, there's still a chance that somebody could cut you open and take the chip out. Well, having it in your DNA code or DNA strand, there ain't any way of getting it out of your body. It's permanent. It's in there. Once it's in, it's in. That's why there's no going back once you take the mark. So I know people have difference of opinion on the mark, but let's be realistic about where we're headed here with digital currency, cashless society, control, carbon footprint, and being able to track every single purchase you make, every single thing that you do. And then eventually, when they wean out cash and they wean out gold, all these things that people think are, people are like, oh, we'll use gold, we'll use silver. All that stuff is going to be eliminated. It's going to be eliminated. You're not going to be able to go to the store to buy food and say, hey, I have a gold bar. Can I buy all this food? They're going to destroy all types of currency so that people have no choice if they want to buy or sell but to take the mark. But for the time being, people still have free will, and people can still make decisions, but they need to become aware of these things. And again, TikTok, social influencers are going to be a key for them getting this pushed across. So it's very, very scary. I thank everyone for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families.
Now, I agree with the guy that you just saw in that video exposing the mark of the beast. But he could have explained it better. And the reason I say that is he used a verse that wasn't King James Version. So he told you at the beginning of the video, you won't be able to buy or sell without the mark on the hand or on the head. When in the King James Version, it does say you will not be able to buy or sell without the mark inside, in the right hand or in the forehead. It's a big difference from saying on to in. The new translations of the Bible say that it's on the hand and on the head. King James Version, which is the most accurate translation, says in the hand and in the forehead. Why is this important? Because it's not going to be on the hand or on the head. It's going to be inside the hand and inside the head, which is implantable chips, which we're seeing happening now. We're seeing it begin to happen. Now, I'm going to read you the verse quickly, and you're going to see King James Version that it's inside the hand and inside the forehead. You will not be able to buy or sell in the future, in the tribulation, unless you have the mark of the beast, the mark of the man of sin, the Antichrist. Now, first I'm going to show you the other translations, the new translations of the Bible. This is the one that he would have used, and you're going to see the problem. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. This is the issue. People are using new Bible translations. Revelation 13, 16, 17 is corrupted. They've told you it's on the hand and on the head. So people are going to think it's a tattoo or a barcode or something that goes on the hand and on the head. No, this is incorrect. If you now go, remember this, New King James Version says on the hand and on the head. Let's go to the King James Version, same verse. So as I just read to you, the New King James Version says the mark is on the right hand and on the forehead. It's not correct. That's a new translation. The best translation is the King James Version. And here's why. Here's the same verse. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. That's the same verse, Revelation chapter 13, 16, 17. The new Bible translations are telling you that the mark is going to be on the hand and on the head. When the original King James Version translation, the most accurate, tells you it's inside the hand and inside the forehead. So it is going to be something that's implanted in the hand and in the head. Probably the implantable chips we're seeing people put in their bodies now. Now, obviously, we're not there yet, but we're at the beginning. We see the technology coming on the earth, and we see how they're slowly bringing it in and trying to indoctrinate children into this technology by using social media platforms and all different ways. Now, the thing that they need to do first, which they haven't, is they need to do a digital ID. So here's a picture of the mark of the beast, the chip inside the hand. Okay? This guy was talking about in the video. You'll see that you have a digital ID. So these three things here are connected to the one chip inside the hand. You've got your banking system, your digital ID, and you've got your keys. Because one day, every building you go in is going to be like going into an office at work or somewhere where they're beeping swabs. So a swab to open the door is keys to open a door in some of these hospitals and offices and these buildings. So your keys, which is a swab, will be a swab to open your properties or wherever, your cars. Your keys, your swab eventually, that will be electric. Everything will all be connected under electric technology. Your keys, your swab, chip. Your digital ID on the chip. And your digital banking, your money, digital currency on the chip. That's your mark of the beast for every single human being on the planet that's here in the tribulation. So, why is this important? Well, like I've shown you, digital ID is going to be a part of it. Here's Bill Gates. All American citizens, all US citizens must accept a digital ID by the year 2028 or face exclusion from society. Similar things have been said also in the UK by Tony Blair. They are also being pushed through by our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. So we see the digital ID. We see the digital banking on everyone's phones. I have it myself. I have mobile banking. So soon they'll get rid of cash. They'll get rid of physical keys. It's all going to be digital and it's all going to be on a chip. And the final thing that happens in the Great Tribulation is they cause the whole earth through economic pressure to take the chip inside the hand or inside the forehead, which is your mark of the beast. You will not be able to buy or sell without it. Doesn't matter where you are on this earth. The economic, the system, the monetary system is going to be changed, upgraded into digital technology. And the only way you can use buying and selling for food or your bills, whatever it is, you will have to have the mark in the hand and the head to scan, to pay for everything, even to get in your car or your property. That's how they're going to make it. That's why they want smart cities. That's why they want electric cars with no key handles. They want you to just be able to push the handle or put your hand on the handle to open the door on these Teslas. The cars will be electric. The doors to your houses, your properties will be electric. To go to work, all the doors will be electric swabs. But we'll only accept the chip in the hand. They're doing everything in the system to build up ready for the mark of the beast. So here you see in this news article, this was the other day. This was on September the 5th, 2025. Trump hosts dinner with tech giants at the White House, but Elon Musk didn't attend. That's a bluff. They want you to think they fell out. They haven't. They're still working together behind the scenes about technology implanted in the human body. Washington President Trump hosted a dinner Thursday night at the White House with tech giants and other business and political leaders. So they are bringing in the tech giants discussing financial things. This sounds like the mark of the beast, guys. It sounds like the mark. And I've just had information come through now as we speak that Donald Trump has come over to my country, the UK, the United Kingdom, England. He's come over here and he was escorted by 3 military helicopters. And I was searching about it, about what this meeting was. Apparently it was an emergency Cobra meeting between Trump and the UK. So I was doing some research. What I didn't know is this. US tech and finance giants to join Trump on second UK state visit. The boss of Nvidia, the world's most valuable public company, is among the US corporate chiefs expected to accompany President Trump to a state banquet in Britain next week, Sky News learns. That was 8th of September 2025. And we've just seen footage of him coming over in helicopters in the UK. I think Donald Trump is the man of sin, the beast, the Antichrist. And I think with the kings of the earth, they are plotting to enforce the digital mark inside people's hands and heads, the chips, hooked up to a digital financial system that many of us that are awake have been talking about for years. And they're finally bringing it. It's nearly here. So I would encourage you all to get ready, because we don't have long. They are setting up the mark of the beast, and Trump is heading the whole thing. It's coming, guys. It is coming, as you've seen in this video. So I thought I would make this video just to warn that the technology is out there. People are already implanting it in their bodies, in their hands and in their heads. The gospel of your salvation. 1 Corinthians 15, 3-4. For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the scriptures. How are you saved? By believing in that, in his death, burial and resurrection. Simple. God bless.